Rolling well. A little bit hard to see behind all this equipment here. My hip is sore. I keep trying to pop it on the bike. It feels like it wants to pop, but it's like a hair away constantly. It'll pop, and then when it does, I'll push myself a little harder. There we go. How are you doing this fine night? I planned to do something very sketchy earlier. I'm going to go to failure without a spotter. Try not to put the weight down on my face. I probably won't be able to re-rack it. So I'll have to figure another way to get the weight off me. I don't even know if you guys can hear me properly. It's hard to whistle and do cardio at the same time. I got a fair bit of resistance on this bike, and you can hear it. But my bike is broken. It's only got one setting. Feeling the burn in my legs. long have I going? I'm slowing down, getting ready to move on. And that should do it. Oh, I just banged my knee on my water bottle. Whew. Oh, Luke, YT YouTube TV, Lukey, YouTube TV. How's it going? Whew. Very tiring week for me this week. And right now, I want to catch my breath and I want to warm up my chest, warm up my shoulder, because I've been having little issues right here. When I come down into a deep stretch, I'm feeling it pull a little bit. Thank you. I think my camera's a little low. I'll fix that. Ooh. So I got this set up for my squats right now. I'm going to change that, set it up for bench. I never remember how high I want it to be. I'm going to have to play around with it a bit. We got to work out 2 weeks ago, and it feels incredible. That's good to hear. Just try not to burn yourself out of the gate. You'll get more progress, and particularly long-term results if you're, one, enjoying what you're doing, two, you don't injure yourself, and so if you learn the basics of the movement. Why is this not going in? And then three, you're not wearing yourself down. Because if you work within your limits, you get that natural boost of pleasurable hormones, natural boost just from exercise. All right, so I'm going to see if this is the right height. It looks too high, way too high. What have you been doing for workouts so far? Try this. Grind, how's it going? Yeah, this was actually a Twitch recommendation for me here, so I figured I'd let it grow out a bit. All right, so let's see how this feels. I'm going to be off just because this isn't my typical setup. I've been doing basically push-pull exercises to infinity. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to re-rack this. It's too high. I'm barely getting this over as it is. So I'll go one lower. Doing arms and chest and working on roofing. So careful you don't blow out your elbows. Where people tend to get injured at the gym, it's either from improper form, or it's from like trying new limits that your body isn't used to. Like maybe you might hurt yourself doing a really heavy lift. But the third one, which is actually more common, is repetitive injuries. Where if you're a roofer and you're constantly hammering all day, or say like if you're working with wood and you're sanding all day, well, you are already tearing yourself down at work, and in order to build muscle, build strength, you need to recover. And if you're already taxed from your job, and then you and then you go do the same, you do complementary exercise to what you've already done all day, you can wear yourself down unintentionally. Often a better way to go is, did I move this thing? I can't remember, but like maybe try more back exercises, doing rows, doing pull downs. Because I imagine as a roofer, you're probably carrying quite a bit. So you're probably engaging your traps, maybe engaging your lats a little bit as you're carrying things up a ladder. All right, so I can't remember if I lowered this or not. Let's go back and see how it fits. Yeah, I don't want to. Ouch. This thing is not my favorite. I keep pinching my hands. So I'm going to lower it by one more. And then I'm going to actually warm up my chest. Okay, why is... Oh, that's why. There we go. But good luck to you. Wish you the best. A lot of my stream is turned into basically fitness Q&As. If you have anything you'd like to run by my brain, by all means ask. I will give my opinions freely, even if my advice might end up being more generic without being able to see your exact situation. All right, let's try this. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to re-rack this when I'm done. I'm going to go right to failure. It's going to be sketchy. You'll see. Yeah, because and another aspect is how you train is also dependent on your goals and what you're actually hoping to achieve. And there's a couple different philosophies around everything regarding fitness, muscle strength. I've done pure bodybuilding. I've done powerlifting. and I've dabbled in Olympic lifting. I struggled at Olympic lifting. I just wasn't as good at it. And I liked the training for bodybuilding, but I didn't like the end result. So right now I'm doing a hybrid between strength and bodybuilding. Basically, I want to build muscle while lifting heavy, getting stronger. All right. So what should I do to warm up my shoulders? I'll use, because that's the key right now. I want to warm up my shoulders, and then I just want to get right into it. Internal and external rotation. A lot of people, when they go to the gym, they focus more on pushing exercises, and you're internally rotating your shoulders a lot. And a lot of people, you might see them, they get like hunched shoulders. The muscles in the front are overpowering and pulling the posture. It's important to complement those with pulling exercises and ones that open you up with external rotation of the shoulders. The band work I'm doing here, a lot of shoulder exercises are tailored where you are already strong. Well, these ones here start from the weakest position. Chad Guy 37, how's it going? All right, so next. I spent some time on the bike, and right now I'm catching my breath. I might turn my music up a little bit louder, and I'm going to see how many reps I can do. It's probably not going to be 30 because this setup is a little bit awkward for me. I've been doing my bench pressing at the gym where it's just set up. I get in there, like I don't have to worry about my hands clipping on the bar or re-racking it. I can just throw the thing back, and it hits the back and just falls, and I know it's safe. This one I gotta like guide it if I want to do that, as well as my hands are sort of in an awkward space on the bar, and when I push, my weight can end up rubbing against the sides here. So I'm gonna actually try to lean all the way back, or like I'm gonna do too far forwards along my travel bench. And so I'll lift out here, and I'll really drag it out in front of me, but then I'll be really far away from the rack. And I don't think I'm going to try to re-rack it. I'm going to put it on my chest, scooch it down to my waist, and just get it off me, because I'm not going to have anything left in the tank when I'm done. Maybe I'll throw in some dips for. Well, Leon's my favorite character. It's funny though, because him and Ada always had their chemistry, and Resident Evil 6, they even like made fun of Leon a little bit. Yeah, I'm really tight right here. I can feel it. So we'll see how it goes. But Resident Evil 6, they make fun of how Leon is a sucker for the ladies, always getting himself in trouble. Yeah, like once I get down to the bottom, I can feel it's just not 100%. But once I warm up, I'll be a lot better. So the goal right now, yeah, I can feel it. Dang. I've just been pushing myself too hard that I'm teetering on the brink of recovery. I can agree with that. And it's not like I've never gotten myself in trouble before. Yeah. Especially 2014, I caught Lyme disease, and it made me all hormonal. And at the start, I had no idea what was going on. Everything just became more dramatic. Life was harder. Yeah. I don't really want to stretch too much because I could throw off my bench. But I think I'm just going to go into it. Throw on some 50-pound plates. You bugger. Oh, okay. Well, cereal in itself isn't so bad. Obviously, you realize that if it's crammed full of sugar, it's crammed full of sugar. The problem with cereal is you can basically eat a whole box at once, right? Like, it's hard to have a bit of cereal and then stop. If you're looking to lose weight, you want to look for cereal that's going to fill you up. So the one that's going to fill you up for the smallest amount of quantity. So like fiber is somewhat good for that. But when you actually look at how many calories and all that stuff, they make it taste a little bit extra good just to have a fun breakfast. But if you actually look at the proportion you're eating, it's like, okay, maybe I would have been better off with some oatmeal. All right. But yeah, see, I don't take pre-workout. Pre-workout is basically just caffeine. I don't need it. I have my music. All right. So I'm just warming up. I'm going to do like one or two. And my hands aren't even in the right spot. Like, see, look at this. It's annoying. I don't like it. Oh, I almost missed. Yeah, I'm not going to trust this. I'm just going to take this off. And I'm actually going to widen this. Come on, you. Try that. Now it's going to be sliding. Now the weights are going to be sliding along the side, but I'm not going to be flipping my hands. And I'm just going to stay far away. Get that in the center. Yeah. My go-to with oatmeal these days, I get Walden Farms either caramel syrup or chocolate syrup, maybe some peanut butter powder, and I'll mix it in with the oatmeal. So I can like this Walden Farms caramel syrup. You can pour like half the container in there if you want to, and it comes like really sweet, really delicious. But the thing is, it has no calories in it. And then the fillingness comes from the oatmeal. Get some Get some peanut butter powder in there for more protein. Yeah, I don't like this. This is all right. I'm not feeling confident about this, but let's. I hit the power, or I hit the cord for the light. Let's get this out of here. Because what I'm going to do right now is going to be very sketchy. I'm going to go to failure, but I'm going to add on another. I'm going to add on another 10 pounds or 20 pounds. Make sure I'm over 135 pounds. I'm probably like 140, 145 pounds right now. That would take a few minutes. And then you're going to see me with the weight on my chest, not able to push it up anymore, swiveling down my waist, hip thrusting again and just getting it off me. A brand called Magic Spoon. Yeah, because even your go-to ones as a kid, your Cheerios, right? They're not unhealthy. They're just something that you can eat a lot of without getting really full. At least for myself. Oh, yeah, like ripples. All right. I can feel my chest activating when I'm pushing, but I'm just going to go into it. But I'm going to take a couple-minute break until I'm both ready and mentally psyched up for it, because doing reps to failure, it's hard and it takes a lot out of you. And after you're done, you ask yourself, why did I put myself through that? But at the same time, you get the results from it. Now let's get you further away. I should have put my typical blurb about dancing to music that you guys can't hear in my title. Normally I always add that. I forgot today. Yeah, I got slow music on right now. I'm listening to Before You Go by Louis Capaldi. I'm not sure. Uh-huh. I'm going to find something a little bit faster. And once I get a little bit faster music, I'm going to go. So, fast, heavily. All right. All right, I got an idea. I just realized my sound has been quite low. Have I got louder now? Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I don't know if I think the same, but comparison is the thief to joy. So you gotta be happy with what you got. It took me a while to get used to my skin again after losing so much weight, but let's do this. This is gonna suck. I'm gonna come all the way down here, and I'm not gonna try to re-rack it. Oh, oh. Was that 30? I didn't go quite to failure. I had one left. I had one more left in me, but I wanted experience just getting the weight off me. All right, so let me get caught up here. I haven't set up the commands, but I'm also Lord_admin on Instagram. Let me just get caught up on my breath here. Man, I can feel the lactic acid. So I put on Headley, She's So Sorry. That's just a song that's got tons of just attack to it. Pimp Lup. What's a good leg workout if you only have 20-pound dumbbells? That question depends on what you're trying to achieve. But lunges are a great way to go. If you can do jump ups, there's a lot you can do to, like with calisthenics, there is a lot of progression that you can do with your own body weight and with minimal equipment. Because 20 pounds isn't going to add a lot for your legs in particular, right? Like you got your quads, you got your, like, if anything, if you get one heavier dumbbell or just grab something heavy and almost do like a goblet squat with it in front of you, then you can hit your quads a little bit better. But you can do different isometrics, like you can do lunges off different planes. With lunges, it's important to understand the technique behind it and how not to put stress into your knee. If your knee is aching when you're doing lunges, you are doing it improperly, and it comes down to center of mass. So if my center of mass is digging into my knee, there's a lot of pressure. where here my center mass is back, and I can come down, and I'm a nice healthy knee. The knee is actually a lot stronger than you think it is, as long as it tracks in one motion. It doesn't like to be pulled out of its plane. Echelon, how's it going? I just finished a set of 30 bench press for 135 to 145 pounds. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, so I'm a little bit back on the comments. I've seen here and here. I'm reading in the middle last, but I'm sorry that you had that experience on Twitch. I found for myself that particularly the health and fitness community, we've all been I guess I've met a lot of good people in here. And by a lot of good people, I mean I haven't met anybody I didn't like. So for Discord, I've created a Discord because people wanted to ask me more specific fitness questions that I couldn't really answer without really getting more hands-on. But I don't use the thing unless I have a purpose for it. Whew. So I think I'm going to do 3 of those today. I'm going to do 3 bench press to failure. That's the plan. So I got 145 pounds. I did 30 the first time. Even though I had 31 in me, I'm probably not going to get 30 again. I might get like 28 the next time, and then like 26. You don't recover from going to failure that quickly. Let's get this back up there. Yeah. Whew. After I'm done, I give myself a pat on the back. But then leading up to it, I don't look forward to it. But what I was finding is I've been lifting, I've been bench pressing heavier and heavier weights. So every week I've been bench pressing over 300 pounds. But it was starting to take a toll on my body because I had injured my knee, almost broke the dang thing, and I was limited to push, pull exercises. And so I got in a fair amount of bench, but I wasn't recovering. It's hard to do a really heavy push to the point where your body basically creaks and groans while you do it. But maybe I'm just getting old. I'm in my 30s. But I don't really believe that yet. Wait till my 40s. That's when things start to change. I remember I first started training at 24, and I thought I can only, after 30, I'm old. I'm not gonna be able to train anymore. And I was at my best shape at 28. It took 4 years of training, mind-numbingly. Just put the blinders on, look forward, like I was a horse on the racetrack, going full blast from start to finish, and I got the results, but I'm not as driven now as I was back then. But at the same time, I've always been more about being fit and healthy than, say, being the biggest I could be. Or anything else. Oh. All right, so I'm starting to feel better already. I can feel right now. I'm feeling the lactic acid bleed out of me. So the oxygen in your blood combines with the glycogen, which is basically carbs and water, and that creates the energy to complete the lifts. But once you don't have enough oxygen, or once the oxygen supply doesn't meet the demand, that's when the lactic acid builds up. But train to failure, you get your results. Like that's. I'm gonna be coming back bigger and stronger from these workouts. I don't have any photos of when I was 28. I didn't realize the value of pictures until way too late in my life. I've only got a handful of pictures from when I was like born until when I was 30. But I started getting pictures before then because I started partner dancing. But all the pictures I have of myself, I'm in a group with like 20 other people, and we're all smiling in front of the camera, and I might be at the back. But then, like now, the pictures I do have are they're my treasured memories. Like they mean something to me. They're memories of almost like another Adam. It's memories that I don't know. They're dear to me now. Even like in high school, I had my problems, and I thought I'm gonna get out of high school. I'm never gonna look back fondly on these days. And now I remember everything that happened. But even then, there's like certain even the things that were like I will never get over this. Well, I got over it, and now if anything, it's bittersweet. But all right, next, I need to get my head to my next set here. So it wasn't too hard for me to get the weight off myself. So the one thing that I got to worry about, right? If I go to failure and if I start to push and if I get stuck, I don't want to drop the weight on my face. That's the only thing. And I might be getting here, and I don't think I'm gonna have that problem because normally that would happen if you try to re-rack. When you're re-racking, you're coming up to put the weight back, and if this is where you fail, the weight is coming down at a bad angle. No, at 28, I was 225 pounds with an 8-pack. And even right now, I've got 6 abs that you can see. The other 2 are buried below fat. And and then even then, right now, like I feel like a rock star every day. I got all the energy in the world. Like I'll give you an example. Like Sunday is typically my chore day. Saturday is my shopping day. Sunday is my chore day. So Sunday, I had the last Sunday that passed. I got up at 9 in the morning, showered, ate my breakfast, had my veggie shake, and drank my flax oil. Then I had my breakfast after that, and then so that was maybe till 10, and then 10 until 4 p.m. I was cooking and cleaning at the same time. I had tons of things going on, just nonstop, just chores. 4 p.m. I rushed to the gym. I did a leg workout from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and put in everything I had left. My legs were cramping by the time I was done, and it was my first actual leg day since I injured my knee. And I was doing 495-pound glute bridges. I was doing 275-pound squats. I did a 405-pound deadlift. But I was wearing the belt. I haven't worn the belt. I haven't worn the powerlifting belt in years, but I wore it because I wanted my core to be protected because I wanted to spend most of my energy focusing on my knee. And at the same time, my knee was feeling strong, so I was able to lift certain weights a little bit comfortably with the belt. What else did I do? I also did ham. I hit every muscle group in isolation at the end as well. So I had a full leg workout, and I got back at 7 p.m. and 7 p.m. to 11 o'clock at night was the final round of cooking. So I haven't had to cook anything all week. I've had, but it was just nonstop going. And I have the energy. After I'm done, I feel good. Life is good, and I'm ready to hit the next week on my feet running. But at the same time, when I am lean, like when I'm able to see the last two abs, I'm not happy anymore. I don't have all that energy because when I'm too lean, my body shuts down. And so there's been times where I've sacrificed strength for being lean. There's times where I've just focused on getting as big as I could. I've dabbled in everything. I've bulked, I've cut. Um, I've done exactly one dirty bulk, and I'll never do that again. It was unpleasant. All right, I'm gonna prepare myself for my next set. I got a wedgie. Of course, I had to share that. I actually feel a little bit. I feel a little bit waterlogged right now. I drank too much water since my last set. I can feel that's going to affect me a little bit. Oh. Okay, 1 minute and I'll do it. All right, feel a little bit less waterlogged right now. Let's get the music going on. This is gonna suck. Oh, is this gonna suck? I'm wasting my energy. All right, let's go again. Oh, my song ends. Let's wait for it to repeat. I got an ad. Jesus, this is a long ad. 2 ads in a row. I hate you. If I started lifting and I got these 2 ads back to back, that would piss me right off. I got an ad about airlines and another one about a credit union. All right, next set. Thank you. I'm not going to flex it too much right now because I'm about to do a set to failure. This is going to suck, so let's go. Ah, crap. Wasting my energy. I wasn't centered on the dang bench. Every time I was coming down, my right shoulder was coming down a little bit further. Geez, so 135 to 145 pounds, depending on how much the bar weighs. Oh. Jello arms. I forgot to count on that set because I was so distracted. It felt like I was either doing this or I was doing this. Yeah, this thing here was yeah, so I'm feeling my chest right now. Just as soon as I started to push, I can feel my chest engaged. More water. I think I'm getting more ads because I've only got one song. The song will be on repeat. There we go. Yeah. I used to train my abs 50 minutes before bed every night. And back then, my core was a lot more defined. But it's not worth it for me right now because I got completely sick of ab exercises. And now when I do ab exercises, I have to mix it up. I can't just do the plain old vanilla. I gotta do like windshield wipers, like grab the bar and take my feet around side to side. I gotta do things like I gotta do like wood choppers. I gotta. I'm gonna try doing a partner dancing stream tomorrow. So right now I have music playing on my laptop and it automatically filters it out so I can hear it, you guys can't. I don't have to worry about getting DMCA'd or my VODs becoming muted. But tomorrow I'm hoping to set up a partner dancing stream, lead and follow. I've done 2 of them so far. The first one was when I first started out and I didn't have anyone overseeing the chat while we danced, and it became a very toxic environment. So I was like, okay, I put it on hold for like 8 months before I tried again. And the second time I was a little bit more smart about it, and it went really good. I won't mute the music, and it'll be more in the moment. If the videos are muted, the videos are muted. Well, sit-ups are like they're used in the military when they're like determining their level of that they're going to define you as. It's often much easier for kids to do than it is for adults. But even then, just crunches, right? Like if you can feel the mind-muscle connection and actually know how to flex your abs, because there's a big difference between when you flex your abs and when you don't. And the best ab exercise I've ever done, like bang for the buck, is if you get one of those half balls, the one that's got the flat bottom, and it's one of those like imbalanced balls. And what you do is you put it on the floor, and if you have a cable rack, you get the rope and have it behind your head, and so the rope is going to come up. And what you do is you lay back on your back on top of the ball, so you stretch out and you get full range of motion as you crunch, and the ball spreads you out, so you start in basically the full, like as most of it of a initial position that you possibly can, and you squeeze all the way up, and you can add weight to the rack, to the rope, and you walk under there. It feels like somebody's gone a couple rounds on your gut with some heavy the heavy gloves. And then like your body's like a heavy bag. Yeah. Training your core is fine. It's not efficient though. If you're looking for health, the best thing you can do, go for a walk. Do a little bit of cardio. Be active. You're gonna train your heart first and foremost, which is gonna go farther to making you healthy than anything else you can do. Aside from that, all right, thanks for the follow, Immortal Chickens. I like that name. I also had a Sobhan0536 followed earlier. And Lukey YouTube TV was before that. Oh shit, I hit a button. What happened? Okay. Don't touch things. You can't break it if you don't touch it. Yeah, so a little bit of cardio, going for regular walks. That's going to do more for your health. But like for your core, you can train your core by doing compound lifts, and you're bracing your core. You're like there's a lot of core that goes in there, and your core will get a lot stronger. But you're also training your other muscle groups at the same time, as well as you are burning more. Like the problem with abs, sit-ups, crunches is that the fitness industry has been lying to people for years. You were like, oh, my 10-minute ab workout is going to make you look like me. It's like, that's not how it works. You don't burn a lot of calories doing crunches. And if anything, to show your abs, you have to not have, like, first and foremost, you have to eliminate the fat over top of your belly. If you start doing, say, sit-ups to start, what you're going to do is you're not going to be actually you're almost going to have no impact on the belly fat, but your muscles underneath that belly fat are going to get bigger because you train a muscle, it's going to get bigger, and your entire belly is going to get bigger. And most people aren't going to be able to train their abs enough by themselves to show through the belly fat. Whereas even if you are like you get to the strongmen, the guys who have tons of belly fat, but they still have abs. And they get their abs doing compound lifts, just lifting really heavy weights. And then even with a large amount of fat, they still have their abs popping out. And I'm not the leanest, but my abs are pretty thick. Well, you have goals, you're powerlifting. With powerlifting, of course, your weight matters a lot, as well as your levers, like your like, and that's genetics. That's like, okay, your arm length, like how, like what are the proportions of your body? Some of those are going to help, and some of that can help you out in some lifts as opposed to another. Sometimes long arms might be less beneficial for a bench press. But you can always, like whatever body you're born with, you can always improve it. And if you start comparing yourself to the people that have like 1 in a million genetics with that have been trained their whole life and they're doing things properly, like you might not, like most people like can't get that, but most people can get like 70% of that. But how to get the 70% of that is going to be easier for some people than others. But unless you actually put in the work, you actually don't know what your peak genetics actually are. It takes about 4 years of efficient training to hit your peak genetics. And it doesn't go linearly either. It goes like the first year you're going to put on you're going to get the most improvement, and then every year, like in the second year, you're only going to get half of that. Third year, you're going to get half of that. Until the fourth year, you're at like 98% of what you can possibly get. And then you spend an entire year training like a madman just to gain 1 pound of lean muscle mass. Yeah, right now you bench 235, squat 335. Well, good luck. I hope to hear about some of your progress. My max bench, I found out what my max bench was a couple months ago, maybe like 2 months ago. I benched 365, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I popped a rib out. So I was sore immediately after the lift. Like as soon as I did it, I was like, oh, and then I felt my body creep. And then when I got my rib put back, like I forgot the ribs. They come all the way up. Like the ribs come all the way up to here, and it got popped back in, and instantly it's like, oh man, that ache I've been feeling for like 3 weeks now is just gone. Yeah, the thing is, I did 365 after not going over 275 for like a year, because I never had anyone to spot me. So 275 is something I can do myself, re-rack it, and I feel safe. But I never actually tried what my max would be. I thought my max was going to be 315. So I did 315. I did a set of like 3, put it down, like that was easy. Like add on another like 25 pounds each side. And I had spotters. I didn't think I was going to make it, but it just went. And part of that was just like, like whatever type of mindset I was in, it's just like, I'm going to do it today. And I did it. I could feel like, oh man, that felt like I got hit by a truck. That's what it felt like. Yeah, my setup at home is very subpar. I'm not even going to try to re-rack it, particularly since I'm going to failure. And lifting the heavier weights, I've been going over 300 pounds every week, but it's starting to beat my body up a little bit because I'm training chest like 2-3 times a week. I was training back 2-3 times a week. I couldn't train my legs, so I have like one miscellaneous day in between. As of a week ago, I could start training my legs again. So I've been having a little bit of a break from the pull push. But in the meantime, I started reducing the weight and just going for more hypertrophy. And it's hard. Like right now, I'm not looking forward to my next set. I am not looking forward to putting myself through that again. But I'm going to. I might just procrastinate a bit. I'm here in my apartment. I got all the time in the world. I got to work tomorrow. It's Saturday. I got to work tomorrow. I got to be on a site at 11 a.m. We had a blizzard here. We had our first snowstorm of the year. We got like a 1.5 feet of snow. All right, let's. So this will be my last set to failure, I think. And I might actually not save anything left in the tank. Well, traps, right? Like a lot of what pops out is proportion, right? So the people who win Mr. Olympia, they're the guys that can build the widest back with the thinnest waist. And so like myself, I'm just like thick everywhere. But it took a lot of time for my shoulders to get as strong as they are, right? Like the big muscles fill in quicker. So when I first started, like when I wanted my V, I got a really nice V because I hadn't, once I started lifting heavier and heavier weights, my waist became less and less thin. But at the time, it was like 3 months, and I had a really, really nice V. And I was training my back 3 times a week, like really hard, like everything was managing my recovery. But it took a lot, like the back came in really quick, but the shoulders, the forearms, that is that's years of building the strength, building the size, and yeah, and there is definitely genetics that goes into it, but okay, get a little bit of sip of water. It's a little bit weird because I'm talking nonstop, and it's a little bit different than normally when I want to do an exercise like this, because normally focus, I will take all my thoughts inwards and just actively recover. And here I'm just chatting, and my throat's getting a little bit dry, and it's throwing off how I would normally feel when I'd be ready to go do the set again. But like for my chest, I find it easy to do a lot of volume in chest, and so that's why I don't need a lot of chest workouts. Like my go-to is cable flies. That's my favorite chest exercise. I can do different variations. I can hit everything I want, but I find it very easy to put in a lot of volume. And because I get that volume and I get like good hypertrophy, my chest has never had a problem growing and getting bigger. Whereas certain other things, I find it more difficult to put in the work, so it's a little bit harder to get the results. All right, I got an ad right before I was about to go. Yeah, yeah, I love the cable flies. And after you're done, you like just touching your chest is tender. Like oh, it's tender. I love it. Like right now, I'm doing bench, but my chest isn't gonna be tender after. It's gonna make me stiff. Oh, okay, as soon as this ad is done, I'm gonna do my next set. I'm getting 2 ads in a row every time. Come on. Oh, oh, I'm all right, I think. Yeah, I've always been good, like strong-wise, when it comes to pulling. Last October, I was deadlifting 575 pounds, but like 20 October 2020, I was deadlifting 575 pounds. I was aiming for a 600-pound deadlift, and then second lockdown hit, and for the first time in since I started training, I lost motivation. And I went from like 230, 225 pounds down to 180, 170 pounds. And then I boosted myself back up to 190 pounds come January. So from October to January, I went from like 230 to like below 180. And I didn't train for a couple months. I didn't eat the way I would normally eat. And it was like you don't even recognize the person you're looking at in the mirror. Wow, my arms are loosey-goosey. But finally, I'm like, I gotta stop. I gotta pull the plug on this. I just need to show up. As soon as I show up, everything else will work out. But the problem was, I just wasn't enjoying my home workouts. The gym was a large part of my social life. But the first lockdown we had in the pandemic, I just brought all my weights outside. The weather was nice. I'd go outside, and I had some really nice workouts outside. Second time, it's the middle of winter, and I just shut down and internalized myself. I started streaming because I figured I could hold myself accountable. And then so the month of January, I had over 50 hours of streamed workouts. And at the time, my internet connection was very shoddy. So it didn't even say, like my stream would cut in and out, and so I lost hours of streaming as well. Yeah, my knee, maybe like 5 weeks ago, I got knocked off a boat. I fell 5 feet directly onto my knee onto a boulder, and I got a ton of soft tissue damage in there, and I still have bone bruising, which is going to last me for months. But I'm very lucky I didn't break my kneecap. And before I did my first leg workout, which was last Sunday, a couple days before that, I tested myself out with deadlifts. I did conventional deadlift. I did a 5x5 at 315, and it felt really good. Like a 5x5, 315. I typically don't use a belt when I'm deadlifting, or until I like actually have to. But that's when I knew I was ready to do a leg day again. I just have to be careful of things like the quad extensions. There's a lot of pressure on the knee there, and I have to be very careful. All right, so I don't know what else I want to do today. I just wanted to see what I could do for volume when it comes to bench press. For myself, I am smack dab in the middle of Canada, but I can hear you when it comes to lower back issues. 2018, I herniated my disc in my lower back, and I tore my glute, and I could not pick weight up off the ground from 2018 until the beginning of 2020, and I never stopped training, but for a long time, the only thing I could do was pull-ups. And so that's what I did. I was doing like hundreds of pull-ups, just my own body weight. And then I lost a whole bunch of weight, so the pull-ups became easier. And I did more pull-ups than I've ever done before in my life. And then once I was a little bit better from that, I could train, but I was strong here. As long as the weight was here, I could deal with it. but I couldn't pick anything up off the ground. I couldn't train my legs. I couldn't go on the bike. I would go on the bike and I would, you go to the gym and you turn the bike and it starts off where it's like almost nothing. And you actually put the settings and you increase it, right? Well, I would just turn the bike on, and on setting like 0, I would struggle to turn the pedals on the bike. And like when I did have weights, I'd have to have like a shelf. I put my weights on a shelf so I could grab it up here. If something was on the ground, I wasn't going to get it. And then so 2020, I started working out the scar tissue. Like the last thing that was holding me back, like my disc was bad, but the scar tissue in my glute was like, once I started really breaking that down, I started deadlifting again. Just having a 10-pound plate on each side with the bar, I would struggle. Like, it was difficult, and I would feel like tearing in my glute. But then very quickly, as that recovered, suddenly my strength went exponentially through the roof. And so as my weakest link was recovering, every week I was getting stronger. Up until so January, I was struggling with 45-pound bar plus 20 pounds, so 65 pounds. I like struggling to a deadlift. October, I was deadlifting 575 pounds. And I didn't feel like that was my limit either. Yeah, my legs aren't actually that small, like, but they're not shaped the way I'd like them to be. My legs used to be so shaped, like my legs, they were like sculpted better than, like, I put more effort on my legs than I did on the rest of my body. If I had a choice, I would be a back, like a big V back with legs. And over 2020, when I started training my legs again, I was doing all compound lifts, like squats, lunges. But I wasn't doing any isolation. I was doing almost no isolation work. It wasn't until this year I realized I gotta switch to more isolation work, because I gotta sculpt all this the way I want it to be. And it's gonna take time and a lot of work, but I am looking forward to it. Also, Counselor, how's it going? Appreciate you coming by. But my legs are actually pretty thick, but they're just not shaped the way I'd like. But I have plans. We'll work on that. Give me some time. I've been making constant improvement on my legs since January 2020, and I'm not done yet. Like, I'm lifting heavy weights. I'm just and even with the isolation exercise, I'm able to like max out the machines for a lot of exercise and a lot of muscles on my legs. But more hypertrophy, more focusing on building the muscle, getting the quads to really just pop out, more focusing on the calves. It's funny because in the past, I might not have the best calf genetically, but I was capable of putting in tons of work for every little bit of extra improvement. So I put in tons and tons of work in my calf just for a small amount of improvement, and that all started from shame. I got shamed about my calves, and then so suddenly I'm making sure I'm training my calves twice a week, as well as I was doing partner dancing. And when I learned, my calves were the best when I was learning Charleston, because Charleston, you're on your feet and you're basically bouncing the whole time, right? So I'm basically on my feet, pulsing, but every time my foot is coming up off the ground. And then try dancing like that, dance after dance, hour after hour, and you get a really nice calf pump. I'm gonna stand up. Pinched a nerve in middle school. Yeah, you get injuries that your whole body's connected. Anytime you mess with a nerve, that's like, it's just got to become like it becomes focused. Like, it's this section sort of overrides everything else, and which is just become like your body lets you know about it. But at the same time, your whole body's connected. I had a friend who broke his ankle and was getting migraines from it like 5 years later, and like chronic migraines constantly. And it's because he broke his ankle, and just everything was like off a little bit. And funny how certain things pop up. But I think where's my strap? I might do some dips now, but while I'm sitting here, I'll do some band work. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta respect your body. Deep, heavy squats can really it can improve your strength. You get a lot of benefit out of it, but not if you're injuring yourself. I turned my music off so I could hear myself think. Well, hey, if you're getting a good sleep schedule, you're already ahead of like 90% of the rest of us. And then from there, you want to get the full trifecta. Like, go for regular walks. Maybe eat more whole foods, and suddenly you'll find your quality of life is really improving. But yeah, I guess long hours of sleep isn't necessarily the best if you're not having regular sleep. Having a schedule is very important. It's midnight and you're already pushing it. Well, I appreciate you putting off your sleep for me. It's probably, yeah, it's after midnight for me here, 12:33. I gotta work tomorrow at 11, so I'll be finishing up, having a shower, drying off, going to bed. I've actually had a very stressful week at work. Work it was all just stress, and a lot of things went wrong. I got more work put on my plate. I'm drowning in work. I'm not going to get it done. I've come to the point where I've just accepted that things are going to be late. There's not too much I can do about it. But it doesn't feel good to be behind. But we're in a blizzard right now, so I gotta go to the snow tomorrow. OX9D, is that a, hey, Crosby, holy carp, you filled out a lot. Yeah, I think it was like Stuart Little that I think people used to compare me to as a kid. All right, so the next exercise I'm gonna do, I'm gonna yeah, well, wish you luck on your job hunt. What's your situation? Are you are you out of high school? Are you in high school? Are you graduate or post secondary? You're looking for something in your field, or are you just looking for something anything just to pay the bills? I graduated, like I went to university and I thought I was going to go into business. Actually, I wanted to go into business, but my family talked me out of it because civil engineers are more employable here. And then I thought I was going to be going into electrical engineering, because I had the option. Like I worked for an electrician in high school, and I had the option to become an electrician's apprentice, but instead I decided to go to university. But it turns out electrical engineering and electrical work is quite different, and I hate electrical engineering. You live in Texas, freshman in college. Yeah, well, yeah, I actually don't know what's in your area, but my go-to in university would be to work in construction, and they always need someone to even just sweep with the broom, like have an extra pair of hands. It's just in today's COVID environment, I'm not sure how well a lot of the construction, like how safe a lot of it would be. For what I imagine, for the most part, you get your smaller crews that spend more time with the same group of people, but you're by necessity going to be in other people's spaces. Colin Forsex, how's it going? You got arrested during a, geez. Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know if discrimination is the right word, but a lot of judgment over something like that. Well, you got arrested. Was there like a conviction? Was there like a plea deal? What's like I don't need to pry per se. I'm just trying to get a better picture. What thing is snapped off here? But like for most cases, what I've seen is being like what's been more like I've seen people with convictions just being like down to earth, just like this is what happened, this is my situation, and this is like I'm just looking for like, and then just being open and honest. I know some people who have found some luck that way, but like being convicted had also kept popping up from time to time, and like one guy I know. When he was like 19, he got into a fight at a bar, and so that followed him around for a bit, and he was having some trouble. And the guy eventually he went to university in his 30s, and he graduated civil engineering alongside myself. Well, he went through a 5-year degree just to find out that he couldn't practice engineering because to practice engineering in Canada, you have to be registered with the governing body for that province, and they wouldn't let him register because of his conviction. So he went through 5 years, and suddenly this thing popped out. He had to fight this. And meanwhile, the guy is like pushing 40 at the time, and he's like, "Yeah, this happened when I was 19." And you let me go through this entire program just to tell me that you're not going to allow me to practice. So he had to fight, but in the end, it all worked out for him. And he's a practicing engineer right now. Pretty good at his job. Oh, wow. Well, I think the hard part for that would be getting your foot in the door to being able to explain yourself, right? Like, yeah, I hit a mailbox. I remember when I was like 17, My younger sister was 16, and my sister was an airhead. She was the golden child, my mother's daughter. Well, I spent a lot of time home alone, and my sister was out partying with her friends. She was at a football game, and she backed out of a parking lot and slammed the back of her truck into the side of a car that had a baby in it. I don't know what the baby was doing in a parked car without anyone else in there, but yeah, so she hit it, crumpled the whole side of the car, and then drove away. And this was at a football game, so lots of people saw her do it. And I'm at home, and suddenly I'm getting tons of phone calls. Like, everybody's calling me. The police are calling me. My mom's calling me. Other people are calling me. No one knows where my sister is, right? My mother's at work until like midnight, and so finally at like 10 o'clock at night, my sister comes home, and I'm just like, you're in trouble. And so she starts swearing at me, telling me off. I'm like, no, I'm serious. You're in trouble. Like, but yeah, she just hit the car with the baby in it and then drove away. And in the end, she cried her crocodile tears, and nothing happened. She was like under 18, but still, she didn't get charged or anything. It was she paid, like my mother paid the damages and small town stuff. I don't know. My chest just feels like rocks right now. I was doing several sets to failure. But I said I was going to do dips, didn't I? I started off my workout with like a tight shoulder, tight chest on the right. Like I've been finding that right here, I haven't been recovering enough. But once I'm warm, I'm really strong. But it takes a couple of sets to really get nice and warm here. Let's. My old man walker. I've really been enjoying using the elastics to add more weight. In the past, I've always just held it in my feet, grab a dumbbell, put it between my legs, and then dip. Well, this thing here, I like how it is more tricep focused. As you're coming down, there's not that extra resistance. As you come up, you get all the extra resistance in the world. But yeah, I imagine particularly having a hit and run against you would specifically make it difficult for delivery jobs, ones where you're actually, and that's gotta suck if that's what you're used to. You have a security license, you're from high school. If you have an open case, so when you say open case, does that mean in the near future that like if you do like you get a plea deal, they give you like I don't think you say anything about parole or anything like what's the Well, when would the case against you close? Is what I'm trying to get at. Like, are you looking like you can't get a security job for a year, 2 years, 6 months? But yeah, where I'm from, throughout the entire pandemic, construction has never stopped. And the only reason we're not doing like the only reason our entire system hasn't shut down is because construction never stopped. But with that, there's always been work for anybody who wants to be a laborer. At least where I'm from. So basically you need a job so that you can pay off $800 as well as some other spending money so that you can so that you can get another job. Yeah, and like it's kind of and you're gonna want to pay that too, right? And then, but if you're having trouble, what's your like, and then you gotta look at your options because you don't want to be taking out like high interest loans just to pay this off. But if that's going to keep you out of more trouble, it's like But I've been in a situation of the money troubles before, and it's rough because it's like you're in a whole well and you're looking up out a hole at top, but then suddenly there's no hole because someone's closed the lid over you. It's very yeah, it's like I understand, but like life is long. Even like a year or two is a hiccup throughout the entirety of your life. And so you'll get over this, and sometimes life is a struggle though. Construction is a family business where you live. Yeah, I can see that, especially especially with if there's cheap labor available for the labor specific parts, and especially if there's people willing to be exploited because they're better off personally, or they're able to like provide for their family by allowing themselves to be so. I mean, it's difficult, right? Like but that's the world we're living in. All right, I'm gonna sit down. I think I've more or less finished my workout for today. I've had quite a busy day. I'm happy to have come out, did a little light workout. Yeah, it's rough, especially since you got dropped from one of your classes. Yikes. Yeah, it's try to my advice, put together a plan set with reasonable intermediate goals, you can achievable goals on the way to getting to that end result, and then in the end somehow you just got to do it. Like sometimes it sucks, you don't want to do it, you still got to just buckle down and suffer sometimes. For myself, I got a 5-year engineering degree in 3 years by taking 160% of a full engineering course load. And for 3 years, life was just pain. So I would, like, from 7 a.m. till 11 o'clock at night, no breaks, frantically, like, and this is 7 days a week, frantically getting all this stuff done. And I calculated per class how much time outside of class that they expect you to spend, and I was still 7 hours a week behind what they actually expect me to spend on these classes. I only survived by, like, I was a guy going to the teachers during their office hours outside of class, and like, I was like group stuff. Let's work together. Let's like make friends to work this out so that we can so it's a little bit more tolerable. But it was rough. Yeah, the gym's been keeping you going. That's good. With what's going on with you right now, just don't injure yourself, right? Like keep the gym being being a high, right? You don't want it to add to and give you more stressors. Yeah, I remember it was like for years after I graduated university, I would wake up dreaming about university and waking up absolutely sure I slept in, I missed my final, I failed my class. Like I just wake up knowing like I just screwed up, and then finally I'm like, oh, I've been like, wait a minute, where am I? Okay, I'm here. I'm living here now. I've graduated 2 years ago. Okay, go like shake it off. Go get a water. Go back to bed. It's plenty traumatic sometimes. I understand, but even then, like for myself, I got a 5-year degree in 3 years, but at the same time, I wasted 3 years. So I was in university for a total of 6 years, but the first 3 years didn't know what I wanted to get into. I was taking general engineering. I was taking classes from this and that. I had no goals. I had no plan. I got a minor in philosophy, and finally I sat down. I was like I can't keep doing this. I've either got to I got to give myself 3 years. If I can't do this in 3 years, I might as well just quit now and then move on and figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. But I've invested all this money in this already, and so I sat down with some student advisors, like what can I do? Let's go. And finally, it's just, and then I just did it, and it wasn't easy. It was yeah. Yeah, I like with the friends thing, right? It's in today's current climate, it's a lot more difficult to connect when you can't actually meet people. But at the same time, you can meet people all over the world over the internet. But just try not to get. Sometimes that can give you a little bit of disconnect from reality, or at least a perception of that sometimes. Particularly if it's over text. Like if you and you're messaging somebody, right? Often you might perceive that person based off of your own ideas or insecurities, as opposed to what this person who this person actually is. Sometimes points are just harder to get brought across over text. So it's like moderation is key. Like if you're gonna do something, try to, like, my recommendation, just try to do it in a healthy way. I'm out of water. I'm getting hot, but in the end, the only thing you really control, that you really have control over, is your own behavior, your own actions, and your thoughts. And I am a big fan of self-reflection. Something happens, right? Like, okay, this was a shitty memory. Like, okay, obviously I didn't like this, but, or something bad happened. But let's look at it. What was my involvement in there? What could I have done? What did I do that contributed to that situation? In the future, what do I want? How will I go about that next time if that happens again? How do I want to hold myself as a person, and it breeds self-awareness and a little bit of character, I think. It's not to climb it or anything like that. Yeah, what I find, if you're having trouble with connecting with people, first, it helps if you have something in common, like an activity that you guys are doing together. If you're part of a club, if you have the same hobby, if you're hanging out in the same type of like circles, so you have that common denominator. So it doesn't have to be just focusing on a friendship. You can just enjoy somebody's company first and foremost, and then second, sincerity. And it might be hard to open up, but it's like a lot of people crave respect. Like a lot of people like really desire respect, where they will go they'll go all out because to get it, but at the same time, they might react to any little perceived slight personally because they might see it as a lack of getting respect, but you get respected by being respectable. You can't necessarily demand somebody's respect, and then that's where the nice guy memes comes from. It's and hopefully have a job opportunity. Yeah, if you're able to take care of the cars, that sounds something that that hopefully wouldn't be too stressful. Sometimes, right? Sometimes the best job at certain points in your life is just one where you can shut off your brain and just scrub something, or just let the body work. Go on autopilot. You don't check out completely, otherwise you start making mistakes and all that. But hope that works out for you. Male prostitute. How's it going? Pika pika. I finished my workout. I'm just here, happily chatting away. I only came on today because I wanted to bench press at least 135 pounds to failure. I think I did a set of, I didn't actually fully count, but I think I did a set of 30, then 28, then 26 maybe, something like that. I'm feeling I'm definitely feeling my chest. I can feel the activation right away. Yeah. It's also, I'm a little bit closer to it. Well, I'm sitting down. I'm normally when I'm standing, I'm a little bit further away. You've done a lot of self-reflecting, that may be too much. It's nothing wrong with being an old soul. But for overreacting, it's like probably, but it's also important to like be serious when take your life, like you've only got the one life to live with. If you need to be serious, it's like you got to be serious. To like if you want to get somewhere specific. But like it's very cliche to say something like this, but like where you are right now, it's going to be a blip over your whole life, and you are going to be looking back at these days eventually. And one thing you're going to look back at as how you upheld yourself as a person. If you put work in if you put in some good work, you can look back, be proud of what you've accomplished. And then even if you put in some work, it didn't pan out, and it's like that was an aspect of your life where you tried, okay, so and then you moved on to a new chapter afterwards. You got some experiences that you could only make by being where you are right now. Your major was psychology, and before you got dropped, you really invested. Yeah, I got a minor in philosophy, but I also took a bunch of psychology courses. I was all over the place. I loved the philosophy classes because it was all arguing, and it actually made me feel like I was in a university student, like in the movies where you're in the class and you're having a discussion with the guy beside you and having an argument with the teacher, back and forth, all this dialogue, everyone's inputting, and you walk away like it was something else, and I really enjoyed it. But I did my philosophy minor with an engineering brain. So I was always like, you have your arguments and counter arguments. You want to think about what the counter arguments are to your counter arguments, and it goes on forever. But for testing, I was always too slow. I would think about I think about things deeply, and I can think about something very specific for a long amount of time, but I wasn't getting the work out in like an hour and a half, 2 hour exam. So what I would do is like the exam would be on like one of like 3 topics or something like that. And what I would do is I would write out a full essay. I put all my arguments that I wanted to discuss, and I'd actually write it out. And so I'd write out like an hour and a half worth of writing, and then I'd memorize it word for word. And then I would go to my exams and simply regurgitate, like just write as fast as I could for an hour or whatever the exam was. And it was painful, right? Like sitting there memorizing this thing. And I found give me a couple hours in a room by myself. It sucks. Like it physically it hurts the soul to do that, but I could. A couple hours before the exam, I'd memorize the whole thing word for word, memorize it, regurgitate it, and then get my A, as opposed to a lower mark just because I'm not getting everything out on paper in time. Yeah, the highest grade in your class. And he called you saying he dropped. I'm not sure. He called you saying he dropped. So he dropped you from the class because of attendance. Is that what you're saying? Well, if you've got your professor believing in you, that's a good sign. Oh, I'm a heat box. It just gets so hot in here. Yeah, I also got to know all my professors. Like I was desperate, like going to their offices. I talk with them because I had to, or I wouldn't have passed. And then even now, occasionally I've gone back to the university. It's like I've had the day off, and I just drop by the university, walk by the old Hans, go check out some of the place I used to spend my free time in. But I go down. All my teachers remembered me. There's new teachers I haven't met. I don't know now, but yeah, they remember me. I was the guy who was just desperate for. But a lot of it is you put in the effort and you have that enthusiasm. People recognize that, and by and large, people want to help you. Like there's some people that will never be agreeable with you, but by and large, people are good, and like teachers in particular, they see a lot of people coming through making just making no effort, having no drive, and the ones who do they will often sometimes their hands are tied by the rules, but for the most part people will go out of their way to help you as long as you're willing to don't like as long as you're not getting them to do it for you. But if you're there, like thought I already did that. You're tired. I'm very talkative, invested with all the teachers and professors. Yeah. Oh, there you go. My problem right now is I'm hot and I'm out of water. I finished both of these over my workout. I'm in an enclosed room just giving off heat. Yeah, for me, when I really got out of my shell was when I started doing partner dancing. I was often like before partner dancing, I had a personal space bubble that was very like I was very aware of it, and I had a troublesome childhood where when I realized I had a problem, like the reason why I don't have pictures, I had problems and which led to me not having any pictures because I would actively avoid the camera. But when I realized I had a problem was when my grandmother, who's like the sweetest, nicest lady in the world, came up to me and just put her hands on my shoulders, and I I flinched and I was ready to instant fight mode. And then I'm like, okay, calm down. This is not healthy. You can't be doing this. Oh, biceps. I don't know. I'm trying to think about bouncing the biceps. That's like if they're relaxed, I got my hand on here. I can. It's a little bit hard when you're standing up. It's easier if you get your hand on the desk or something. I remember like being like I remember just sitting down at a desk and just entertaining myself by bouncing my biceps. I have a much easier time with my right than with my left. Oh, I'm thirsty. I'm gonna turn this fan just a little bit. It's directly on me. All right, let's see the line. Yeah. For me though, I just like people. I've had people like right now. There's like I've hated people before, but by and large, I like people. I like even when I like hated the world, I still yearned for connection with I was jealous and hey Erie Hallows, how's it going? Um, but I like if you're gonna go somewhere, you like become a regular somewhere. Um, just like that connection you have with your professor, you can have that elsewhere. It just you do have to put yourself out there for um, to receive that as well. But it's if you have an activity that you can share that you get passionate about, um, everything else will follow a little bit more smoothly. Um, for me, my big social groups, there was the gym, there was badminton. Um, I, I remember I graduated university. I played badminton my whole life. I got myself ranked seventh in my province for badminton over 18. And I was training, like I played with the same group of people for decades now, and they're my close friends. Um, Even if I'm not talking with them constantly, but like we see each other, we'll stop, we'll say hi. Um, then there's and then there was social dancing. So with social dancing, there are different communities based around different dances, and a lot like the most welcoming environments I've been in. Met a lot of great people from a lot of different backgrounds. You get your engineers, you get your people that are in the arts, and I've actually been able to make a lot of deeper connections through that medium. The one thing you got to be careful of is not to, like, if you're say, like, for myself, if I'm dancing with somebody nonstop, but if I never stop to talk to them, right, we would have a connection on the dance floor. But you got to realize, like, if you don't speak with the person, then a lot of what you perceive them as is really in your own head. You finally got back in your rollerblades, so you're doing pretty good. Oh, I'd be jealous to have be able to go on rollerblades right now. There's a blizzard outside. Last night we got 40 centimeters, almost 1.5 feet of snow. I'm just happy to finish the week. It was a rough week. I gotta go to a site tomorrow, but it's something that I've scheduled myself. I'm gonna be overseeing it. I don't have to really. I set the rules. I get in. I finish my job. I get out, and then I'll get Saturday off. Tomorrow I'm gonna go to the gym. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to set up some partner dancing. So try to drop by if you can tomorrow. I'll have the music on. We'll likely be doing West Coast swing, maybe some blues. The type of dance I'll do depends largely on the partner. I would say with people and making friends, you have a lot of trauma. Yeah. So, and then what I would say, surround yourself with people that will become a positive influence on your life. Learn to recognize the signals for the type of people that will likely lead to that type of trauma. Stay away from drama off like Facebook and all that stuff. That's gonna, like, it's, yeah, like some people feed off drama. Other people are selfish, but by and large, the good people outnumber the crappy ones. At least that's my belief. No, I get it. But like for myself, when I grew up, a lot of my personal stories were something that I internalized, but I wasn't able to really get out. It took but now I can freely just I can freely talk about these things that at the time would eat me up. You do dance sometimes. My style, mixed element of contemporary hip hop and of course swing in Charleston. Swing. So you're talking Lindy Hop, I'm assuming, for the most part. That is what I started with. And like Charleston is I love Charleston because it just works. You're basically controlling the follow's hips. And so as you do the steps, everything just works as long as you're keeping the balance, and your follow doesn't have to know what leg she's got to be on. It just works, and then you can throw in things, different patterns that just can blow your mind. Right now I don't have a lot of room to actually dance around, but I started with swing dancing, and swing dancing in particular has a very special place in my heart. Happy all the time, jazz hands, you boogie around, but for me, and I've been more about the lead and follow aspect of dance. That's what gets my rocks off, is the lead and follow aspect. I've spent less time on what other dancers have done and what I should be doing. You look in a mirror and you learn the moves. And swing dancing has a set of very specific moves that you can incorporate within your dance, and a very specific style. Whereas for myself, I'm more focused on my partner, leading them around. I learn the steps, but I learn the steps deep enough to actually lead the steps. I want to lead my follow everywhere she goes, and I want to learn the steps so I can break them. Well, how's it going? Your solo 100%? Solo Charleston is, it's, um, I've done a fair bit of solo Charleston. It's a lot of work. It's a good workout. Really, really will develop your calves, I tell you. But for me, sometimes I've gone to dancing before and walked out and felt like I don't know anybody there and I'm feeling a little bit alone. After I'm like, even though I didn't actually am I having meaningful conversations, and but this has all come from other things in my life. But but with swing dancing, I know I've never come out of swing dancing not uplifted. I go there, I'm just happy to be like. There was every Saturday night was my swing dancing night. I just go there and it's all like it just instantly makes me feel good. Whereas I've done other styles, I like blues, West Coast, the salsa, like the Latin dances, salsa, bachata. I've done like kazumba, I've done the bar dances, but swing dancing has a very specific, it's a very specific part in my life. Even if it doesn't give me the outlet for a lot of other expressions that I can get through other styles of dance. All right, so I know how to square dance in Texas. It's mandatory. Street stomp, air pushes to heel clicks, and just got out of work. You got out of work. Yeah, I had a busy day. I'm here, but I didn't really push. Like I did push myself because I went to failure. I did reps to failure. It's never easy, but ultimately I didn't do a lot of volume today. I just happy to shoot the shit and you have MMA inspirations to inspirations to your dancing. All right, so yeah, you can take inspiration. Like what I found with inspiration though. I've been inspired, but on the path to getting to like where you're actually to like greatness, I've gone through a portion where I've caught video myself or where I'm basically a monkey. Like in my brain, I'm just like yeah, we're doing this. Like I'm thinking of like this movie or something, and in my brain, I'm just like that, like something that's just or like not in my brain, but like in reality, I hadn't polished anything off yet, and so I remember the first Jack and Jill competition I ever did. I watched myself after, and I was just like when I first started dancing, it was really hard for me to not walk like this because I was so big. Like I was bigger and more muscular than I was now, and like getting contra body, like everything I was doing, I was moving like this, and it was, and then I'd do something, I'd be like, oh, let's go, and there was a couple of embarrassing moments, but yeah, it's probably doing wrestling, and that's a lot of cardio. Yeah, wrestling is a lot of cardio work. It's there's a lot of concentration. There's a lot of like similar to calisthenics type work. And like mixture of compound lifts, calisthenics, you're getting your leverage, you're getting through your legs, you're like there's a lot going on. Like even there's different types of taxation on the muscle, right? Like you get your eccentric, your decentric. Like you're taking your muscle and you can squeeze it, right? Squeeze it, let it go, squeeze, let it go, and you can resist on the way back, and sort of have something where it's hard to close. But then there's also the type of strength where you push on something immobile that's not going to move, and that's a good way. Like you give your hand on somebody else's wrist, and you're actually like straining for superiority, or you get like your hands on their shoulders or whatever you're doing. That's a good way to build strength without actually tearing down a lot of muscle tissue, so you can get strong without getting necessarily too bulky. And there is an art in combat sports in particular to getting as strong as you can for the size that you're competing at. It's very important. You're competing at the size. You want to get as strong as you can at that size. And sometimes getting bigger muscles isn't going to be the way you want to go. Interpretive, strong elements of drama and act. Yeah, see, emotion control and symbolism. Well, my first blues workshop blew my mind, okay? I danced and swing dancing to that moment, and we did an activity where for the first time we danced to emotions. Like the activity we did to start out with is, okay, I am going to be dancing with a partner, and there was a couple different variations of this. One where we both dance to the same emotion and we both know what it is. One, I dance to one emotion, she danced to another emotion, we both know what it is. And then there was another one where it was, I'm going to dance to emotion, but I'm not going to tell my partner what it is. She's going to dance to emotion. She's not going to tell me what it is, and we're going to try to guess afterwards. And that opened up so many doors for me. Suddenly, I had some of like all these like every dance was just great. Every dance was just like it hit me. Like I finished some dances. So the workshop was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was a long weekend, and Monday we went out dancing to live music. And I remember I had this one dance. I finished it, and afterwards my heart was just pounding. There was almost no movement, but it was very, what's the word, intense. And afterwards, my heart takes a lot to get my heart running. Like I do some cardio, my heart's still like just like very steady. But I finished that dance and just out of my chest. I had to sit down. I had to sit down and just ground myself after. It was a good time. You want to be big, but you want to be good in wrestling. Well, size. It depends on like there's comparatively, right? Like you can probably get a lot bigger than you think you can and still be good at wrestling. But it gets like when you're trying to be pound for pound, the more pound for pound of quality that you want to build, the more effort it takes. Yeah, you dance equally to the words, notes, and the beat. I am terrible at words. I'm really good at the beats. But as in partner dancing, it's scales. The starting off, the follows get pretty decent really quickly. They're dancing with a lot, like for myself, I was dancing with 40 women a week when I started off, and you get follows who are dancing with like 40 leads a week, but the leads are often like old ranges of skill, but they get if you have a lead who knows what they're doing, everything just works with the follows. So they very quickly learn how to follow, and then it's just following, and then from there they are listening to the music and they're already improving their musicality. So they get to a certain level and then they start to slowly improve. So rapid jump, slow improvement. Whereas with the leads, it's a very slow improvement off the start because you're not even listening to the music. You're just keeping track with the beat, and you're thinking first, oh my God, I'm holding a girl's hand or something, right? Or but at the same time, you're like, what one, you're counting 1, 2, 3, you have to count, and then you're thinking, what move am I gonna do next? Okay, how am I gonna and you're planning out the next couple, and you're not even listening to the music, right? And then it doesn't get to a certain, so you slow. Finally, you're comfortable enough that you actually start listening to the music. But even then, you're not just listening; you're listening to your partner as well. You're leading, but you get feedback from your follow, and that will you'll probably actually listen to that before you actually ever hear the music. So, but then once you get to a certain point, then you're just sky's the limit, and then imagination takes over. And you have the cardio of a sloth, but surprisingly fast. Well, that's like going top speed is never easy, right? Like people talk about HIIT cardio. Do HIIT cardio, it's great. No, almost nobody does HIIT cardio. If you do HIIT cardio, you are basically out of commission for a long time. You don't recover. It's too hard. You can't push yourself all out for a minute to the point where you have nothing left and then stop and then recover in a minute. It doesn't work that way. If you're recovering within a minute, you're doing moderate intensity something. Like even myself, like the stronger you get, the more output you're actually able to produce. Like endurance sort of plays a factor in it though. Like if you're going all out, nobody's gonna recover that quickly. Most people just will stop once they get uncomfortable and they won't go to all out. I'm going to be on the floor wanting to die for 15 minutes. All right. Well, I'm going to see who's online right now. I appreciate you guys all talking to me, but I've got to start winding. Oh crap! I forgot to send a text message to. I'll send it to him at 1:30 in the morning. Crap. All right. All right. This guy's good, people. He's professional bodybuilder, I think. I can't remember if he's got his pro card. Yeah, I think he's got his pro card, but he's actually won some. If he hasn't, he's actually won some competitions. Last time he checked, you're in. Yeah. All right, let's do some posing. I like to do some posing at the end of my workouts so I can see improvement over time. I don't even know if I'm flexing my back properly. If I feel the muscle, I'll flex it. All right. All right. Thank you for coming by. Hope you're got some stuff off your chest there, and yeah, my rear delts are basically hard as rock. It's like a handle. Like every so often you touch your body, like wow, that's different. Like the triceps. Like my arms feel so different than they did like 10 years ago. It's to the point where the first time I actually felt my arms, it blew my mind. But thanks for coming by. Until next time, hopefully I'll get the partner dancing stream up and running tomorrow, and we'll have a good time. Thank you for joining me on my journey to getting a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger every day, and have a good night.